On the off chance that we wipe out the lines, the most hypnotizing star I acknowledge is the star that could be stunning in our sky. It is this one, Betelgeuse or Scarab Juice. It's a red giant star, and on the slim chance that you put it where the sun is, it would connect with the orbit of Jupiter. It's tremendous, entirely flighty, and going to detonate. It's not so clear as it seems, by all accounts, to be in the universe. These giant events, like the most ludicrously dreaded epic starburst, could shake all that we see and also all that we don't see. Its center, in any case, Betelgeuse has been viewed as a sign, a red, very giant star that is ordinarily more massive than our sun. Brian Cox and other space experts figure it could go supernova at any moment. People are generally unnerved by what will happen, since the James Webb Space Telescope is taking stunning photos of the star. When precisely will Betelgeuse become a supernova, and how titanic an impact will it have on Earth? Let's figure out a star in the constellation Orion that shines so brightly that even people from a long while ago have seen it. The surprising star, Betelgeuse, is located on the eastern shoulder of the constellation Orion. Betelgeuse is the second largest star in the group of stars. Its name comes from this feature, the beast's shoulder. It is potentially one of the most brilliant stars in the night sky. On top of being phenomenally brilliant, the star is also an odd shade of red, which, as we will see, suggests trouble. We've had some significant experience with Betelgeuse for quite a while. A Greek astronomer named Timo also studied it. Around that time, the central thing people recognized about stars was their color. Timo said that Betelgeuse was an orange color. Researchers have been concentrating on the star much more closely of late, and now they have a brilliant idea of what makes it so curiously bright. One of these characteristics is that the star changes brightness a lot, with an apparent magnitude of 0.6. Betelgeuse is a variable star, which means that its brightness changes over time. At any rate, recently, scientists have discovered some new data about the star. In 2019, astronomers first saw that Betelgeuse was acting particularly oddly. Although Betelgeuse didn't completely stop shining, it wasn't the same. It had become significantly less bright, shining at a magnitude of around 1.6. Astronomers immediately began to investigate why they were seeing the 10th brightest star behave in such an unpredictable way. Experts had to offer an amazing statement based on their research, which revealed bizarre signs from the star. According to their findings, Betelgeuse could go supernova at any second. Brian Cox, a prestigious researcher, shared this incredibly risky statement. As an esteemed professor of particle physics at the University of Manchester School of Physics and Astronomy, you shouldn't take his opinion lightly. He also has a science show, writes numerous popular science books, and is the Royal Society Professor for Public Engagement with Science. Brian Cox says that Betelgeuse seems to be a ticking time bomb, since it could go off without warning. To deteriorate the situation, the James Webb Space Telescope has shown an enormous amount of evidence to back up this statement. At any rate, what unconventional signs has Betelgeuse given that have caused so much concern in astronomy? With the new data about Betelgeuse, the star has been named a supernova candidate. However, researchers are still uncertain when it will explode. The fact that Betelgeuse is almost twice the mass of the Sun is one explanation for this classification. A star, in theory, should be multiple times the mass of the Sun to be considered a supernova. Things get really interesting, though, because scientists have used various instruments to investigate Betelgeuse. For instance, the James Webb Space Telescope and the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, to see what's going on in space around Betelgeuse. What they've found is still a mystery. Betelgeuse was born on August 31st, a long time ago. Around that time, the star seemingly offered strange hints that made its future uncertain. What did they find? Well, they could detect curious light waves coming from the star or over Betelgeuse, which is extremely particular. But that wasn't the only thing scientists observed from the star. This takes us back to the idea that Betelgeuse is a star whose brightness changes over time. It was said that Betelgeuse would fade down at regular intervals and had dark spots, similar to our sun today. However, the conditions are different. It changes from bright to dim twice as fast as it used to, which is another unusual sign that Betelgeuse is acting abnormally. Researchers found that the star's dimming cycle had hit a band of brightness of plus 1.61 in February 2021. This was not long after the huge dimming event. Remember how the star appeared to dim in a strange way in 2019? That's because it's now known as the Great Dimming. We could see that the extreme dimming was the beginning of Betelgeuse's peculiar behavior, which made many people worry that Betelgeuse was about to explode. The range of dimming was between 1.2 and 1.6 between 2019 and 2020, and the lowest degree of dimming ever recorded was in 2019. So, scientists were confident that Betelgeuse would go supernova in the next 100,000 years due to the extreme dimming. There's a shift occurring in the universe, so this is genuinely alarming. Researchers immediately revised their viewpoints. However, when they saw what happened next, Betelgeuse got brighter again after the staggering dimming, and it became even more striking. Astrophysicist Andrea Dupree at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics says that the star is now 150% brighter than normal, making it the seventh brightest star in the sky right now. Researchers were frightened when they saw a red glow in the southern part of the sky. Today, it still gets more captivating because this has led to various theories about what caused the great dimming. First, it's important to note that not all stars have the red glow of Betelgeuse. The red glow of Betelgeuse means that it's a red supergiant star, which is a final stage of a star's life and death. The red glow, on the other hand, is caused by a surface temperature of around 3,500 Kelvin, which is much cooler than the outer layer of the Sun, which is 5,500 Kelvin. Since Betelgeuse is cooler than our Sun, it emits less energy per unit of surface area, despite the fact that it is larger and will eventually explode. Now we should look at what the Great Dimming looked like. Brian Cox asks, does it mean that Betelgeuse will go supernova? Well, the fact that Betelgeuse is a red supergiant already shows that it is nearly finished with life as a star. A dying star will often also dim over time, which is something that researchers are aware of. In conclusion, Betelgeuse's recent extraordinary behavior has made scientists even more focused. Furthermore, many telescopes are now concentrating on the Great Dimming. Still, things get much more interesting since scientists still don't have a deep understanding of Betelgeuse. Researchers are now using the most cutting-edge tools to monitor the captivating events happening around Betelgeuse. The James Webb Space Telescope has been one of the best tools scientists have used so far. Since 2021, the James Webb Space Telescope has been in space and has helped researchers gather a wealth of valuable data about Betelgeuse. The new photos of Betelgeuse's extreme dimming, taken by this telescope, have shown that the event caused a massive mass ejection. Based on new research, we now know that this mass ejection was about 400 billion times more significant than a normal coronal mass ejection. The James Webb Space Telescope can also look at things that our eyes can't see, like light waves and frequencies. As a result, researchers are excited about what the telescope will discover. Scientists have seen dust clouds forming on the star's surface, which appear to look like leaves in space. That doesn't make sense, given that Betelgeuse is about to die. Yet, researchers are still keeping an eye on it, since they don't know when it will go supernova. Scientists believe that Betelgeuse is much larger than the Sun and that the bright red star will shine for the next 10 years. However, if we look at the many strange things happening with the star, it's hard to say if that prediction will still hold after the remarkable dimming. So, specialists don't think Betelgeuse will detonate anytime soon. If Betelgeuse explodes, it will be the first supernova we observe for ourselves since Johannes Kepler did in 1604. Scientists also don't want this to happen soon because they are still watching the star's unusual behavior. Regardless, researchers are certain that Betelgeuse will eventually go supernova. When precisely it will happen remains a mystery. If we examine the universe without bias, one of the most captivating stars and perhaps the most bewildering in our sky is Betelgeuse, often referred to as bug juice. This red giant star, if placed where the Sun is, would stretch to Jupiter's orbit. This incredibly massive, unstable star is on the edge of a detonation. The universe doesn't operate in such direct terms, but marvelous events like the dreaded starburst could radically alter everything we see. Betelgeuse has provided unusual signals. A red giant star that is typically the size of our Sun cosmologists, including Brian Cox, believe it could go supernova at any moment. The concern lies in the potential consequences of this event, especially since the James Webb Space Telescope has captured alarming images of the star. So, when exactly will Betelgeuse explode, and what impact will it have on Earth? It wasn't behaving the same as before. It had become significantly dimmer, shining at a magnitude of around 1.6. Researchers quickly began to investigate why the 10th brightest star in the sky was showing such peculiar behavior. They had to make an incredible statement based on their research, which revealed unusual signs from the star. According to their findings, Betelgeuse could go supernova at any moment. Brian Cox, a renowned scientist, shared this concerning statement. As an esteemed professor of particle physics at the University of Manchester School of Physics and Astronomy, you shouldn't take his opinion lightly. He also has a popular science show, writes numerous well-known science books, and is the Royal Society Professor for Public Engagement with Science. Brian Cox states that Betelgeuse appears to be a ticking time bomb, potentially ready to explode without warning. To exacerbate the situation, the James Webb Space Telescope has provided a vast amount of evidence supporting this claim. But what unusual signs has Betelgeuse given that have caused such a stir in astronomy? With the latest data, the star has been classified as a supernova candidate. However, researchers are still uncertain about when it will explode. The fact that Betelgeuse is nearly twice the mass of the Sun is one explanation for this classification. A star, in theory, should be several times the mass of the